Hey guys, welcome to our first official Tool Haul Tuesday. So what I'm going to do, I've done a couple tool hauls in the past. I think I've done 3 that you guys have seen. This will be number 4, but I'm going to start doing them on Tuesdays, or we'll call them Tool Haul Tuesdays. I'll show you all the stuff I managed to pick up over the weekend because, as always, there's multiple stops, different things happen. So I'll bring it all together and then show you guys what it is. And then we'll have a fix it up or fix them up Friday. And that'll be the video where I maybe go in and clean something, maybe restore something real quick, or do something around the shop. It'll be something I'm kind of worked on and put some sweat equity into. So I'll show you guys that as well on Fridays. So that's going to be, hopefully, the rhythm that we have. No guarantees. But that's what we're shooting for here at Burnout's Hot Rod Garage. Or Hot Rod Shop. Wow, I always say Hot Rod Garage. I don't know why. But it's Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. So, with that, let's check out what we picked up this weekend. So we picked up another auction lot. This is just a piece of it. These are the hammers, hatchets, that kind of stuff. Got this little toolbox. Got this organizer full of junk. Got that. Got a pile of church keys. And got that tray. But this is just the beginning. We'll look at the other stuff here real quick too. So the other stuff I picked up is I got another grinder. Got this cheap. I don't know, it was $14 or something. Picked up this top box for $30. And then all the lots that are in it. Open it up real quick. You can see there's lots of goodies. These are all individual lots. You can see by the fact that they're numbered. I didn't win the one that was in there. Look real quick. This one's Plum. And this one, actually, you can't see it. So we'll make that a surprise when we open it up. Some SK stuff. These guys. And this. So this stuff all came from a retired mechanic. This was his personal toolbox in his home. He'd had a shop since the 1950s and then had retired. So this one will be interesting to go through. We're going to start off by going through the hammers and stuff on the table. And then I will get all that cleaned up and out of the way. And then I'll pull everything out of this box. And I'll take it over there, get it sorted, and we'll go through that as well. So give me a second and we'll jump into that. All right. So first let's take a look at the hammers and hatchets. We have a JCPenney. We have a Rocket. We've got this Ken tool, hubcap removal tool. Got a Dunlop rubber mallet. This one you probably won't be able to see, but it's a Vaughn. We've got 4 Plums, 2 Stanleys. Bunch of stuff I could not find a marking on, but still good hammers. Then I got that cool wooden mallet back there. Good haul. I think that was $8. Is what I paid for all the hammers. Okay, let's look at the church keys real quick. This one I thought was kind of neat. Snyder's Dairy. We got Morgan's Beverages, 3 of those. We've got these 2 here, a little different style for Hazelton. That's the Consumers. Valley Forge, 3 of those. Esslingers, Schmitz, 3 of them. Schaefer, Stegmeyer, Gretz. And then this guy over here doesn't have any advertising on him. So, decent little lot of church keys that I think was $4 or $6. All right, guys. Next up, we have the stuff that came out of this little skill box and this purplish colored basket that I now have all the church keys sitting in. First, this little skill box. I'm not sure how old this is, but this is the heaviest box of this size I think I've ever lifted up. It was a really thick gauge steel, so I thought that was cool. Oh, and I also went through here. It's mostly hardware and stuff I'll go through out in the barn. Nothing that would interest any of us. I come up with a little pile here for the fabulous Miss Liz, Mrs. Burnout. She does crafting, so you've got these crystal handles, these picture hanger pieces, and those couple of wood pieces. This is the unmarked stuff. Couldn't find a marking on any of these things. Something pretty cool. Look how stubby that little wood handle is. I'm not big into wood handles, but that one's kind of neat. In that same vein, this putty knife, I cleaned up both sides. Don't see any remnants of a name or anything on it, but it's a wood handle. It's really nice. Next up, we've got these Dunlops. Cutters, and then we go into these these Klein needle nose. We've got this Blackie by Master tape measure. We've got these smaller Crowder side cuts. And we've got these guys. So I did some looking on the internet. It does have a maker's mark. See if we can get it in focus for you guys. Once I get everything moved around, I'm definitely gonna have better light. You can see it's a K with the dashes on either side. I found two different things. One said Crowder, one said Klein. Neither one showed a picture of that though. So I'm really not sure. Next up, this is my first pair like this. Got the octopus handles. I see a lot of you guys online with them, but I have not gotten one yet. So here's my first pair. And this is, I can't read it. Anyway, they're octopus handles, so they're cool. We've got this Crescent USA cutters. We've got the old school logo, channel lock, where it's just around the circle and not the big banner thing. We've got this Lufkin measuring stick. This Ethel thing is kind of cool. It's so nice and shiny, but it's metal. You know, it's thick metal. It's not one of these thin repops, so I'm not sure. Next up, we've got these scissors. I could not get a good look on that maker's mark. There's actually two pair of them. And we've got some of those screwdrivers. This is cool. This was just in a little box inside of something, but it is a tooth. It's just a little plastic tooth to show a cavity and how the tooth has to come out, I guess. I thought that was cool. We'll get back down here now. Tool truck brands. We got us another Mac. The end's a little beat up, but it is a Mac. Next one is a black-handled Snap-on. For those of you that don't know, Snap-on, they currently own Williams, and I always like these type of Snap-ons compared to the soft grips. And if you buy Williams, this is what you get. Or even the black ones like this. So that's what you get from Williams today. My son bought some last year for himself. And we have a snap-on hex key. We've got an Irwin stubby. Right? Irwin? Yeah, Irwin. Second guessing myself. A well-loved and used and abused Craftsman Phillips screwdriver number 2. Another first for me in the Craftsman world. Finally, I got a Super Tough. Craftsman. And I think Super Tough on that panel or that one. Yeah. It's hard to read the Super Tough. You can always tell the Super Tough by the ribs. Then we got some Allen wrenches. They're Allen and KD tools. A couple locks. The big one seems to be frozen up, so I'll get a little lube in there, get it freed up. Some stuff that doesn't have names. This nail puller I thought was really cool. It doesn't look like it's been too hard used or abused, so that one I'll probably end up keeping for myself. This little guy reminds me of those when you were a kid, those rings, the ring pops with the big candy diamond on them. So that will probably go in one of my Harbor Freight mini toolboxes, as well as this guy. Got another one of those little mini hammers. Got a mini claw hammer, a mini tape measure, and this awesome advertising piece. That is, let's see, I had a name here. Yeah, standard speaker, and it's a nail pen. It's got a little ink pen that comes out of the tip when you turn the nail head. And the other thing I thought was kind of cool, this was folded up in a little box. The phone number for fire, ambulance, and rescue will be. How old does that have to be out of the newspaper? So that takes care of the first part. Now I will get that Craftsman toolbox opened up, get all that stuff over here, and we'll see what we have in there. All right, guys. Next up, we're going to take a look at the wrench drawer. So everything over here, all the way across into those two, and then those two double box ends was in a single drawer, along with two made in Spain and one made in India wrench that I pulled out and put in the undesirable pile. That whole drawer at this auction cost me $6. So let's go through and see what some of the things are that we've got. So these two over here, I've set them up by brands. This one is a Barcolo Buffalo. So those are both Barcolo Buffaloes. This one is Armloy, which is Black Hawk. So those two tiny wrenches are Black Hawks. This one does not have a name or a maker's mark on it that I've been able to see, but it's really clean. I'll put it in with my vintage stuff. Here's another Bridgeport that's in really good shape, and it's a double box end. Mine are all combinations, so I know that'll go nice in my collection of Bridgeports. Over here, we have a Billings. And then this one is an SK, double box end. Dirty SK. This one, I guess these were called Nikos, or not Nikos, Nemos. But they just say nickel molybdenum or whatever. I looked them up. They're called Nemo wrenches. Double box end Volchek. Here we have the Circle X branding, which is Duro. Here we don't have a branding, but if you look at that window that comes down to the point on each end, those are Industros. So if you ever see those, they made a lot of unmarked ones for like Western Auto, that kind of stuff, but they were all made by Industro. Here we have a Williams. Here we have an older Williams with just the diamond W. This whole collection, I've got a few of these, but this is Pennins Corp out of Chicago. There's 5 of them there, so I thought it was pretty interesting. Let's see. Here we've got Electrolyte. It's True Fit. Here we've got a little bit older one, Electrolyte. It just says Made in USA. Back here, we've got Bonney. And we got the older, more rounded body Bonney. And let's move some of these things up out of the way. I'm redoing all my sorting on this stuff anyway after I get them cleaned. Because as you can see, there's a lot of cleaning that needs to be done on these guys, for the most part. This pile is all the Craftsman stuff. So here we have a 5/8 combination wrench. This one's kind of cool because it's the V over here. And the double lines without the V. I think it's the first one I've seen with the V cast in like that. This one is pretty crusty. The line stands out pretty well though. It's an underline C Craftsman tappet wrench. There's another one, underline C tappet wrench, Craftsman. Here we've got a 7/16. This one's newer. It is a Taiwan. So, I still pick those up. I put them in my user box in the house. Here we have the single line on both sides V. Double open end. This one may be another one of those newer ones. Let's see. Yep, Taiwan. Just set it up there. And guys, these Taiwan ones, they're still good wrenches. They still work great. They still have a lifetime warranty, so you can still take them back if there's any issues. Here we've got another Craftsman. And this one is stamped with a double line V. Again, super crusty. Double box end Craftsman. You see this one's got an N cast into it, but it's a single line V. Here we have a Craftsman Vanadium, the underline C. Double box end, 1/2 and 9/16. And this is the one that stood out to me. I was like, yeah, definitely for $6, let's make sure we get this. I'd seen a bunch of the other ones in there too, but this is the one that was like front and center. Craftsman underline C, 5/8 3/4, Vanadium, forged in USA. It's 1729, which actually I think I have the 1729 in the CI marking, which doesn't say Vanadium. So again, all those are going to go into the cleaner. But as you can see, that is a ton of wrenches for $6. On to the next drawer. Real quick, guys, before I finish up wrenches, I forgot about these. I stopped at a local antique mall. I guess not really local. It was an hour plus away. But we were out and about, so I wanted to check out and see what they had. And I picked these guys up. Now, one thing I will warn you about antique malls. Some people think that their tools, jewelry, whatever it is literally made of solid gold. Other people have reasonable prices. This guy had reasonable prices for an antique mall. Some of the prices were a little high on his stuff, but these weren't bad. I think I spent $8 for these wrenches. I'll show you what they are real quick. This one I had to use my magnifier, so I don't know if you'll see it. But that's a very early Williams. It's got the circle and says JHWIM Co. And then has the diamond with the W. I didn't even see that in the store. I just saw that it was an S wrench in a size I don't have, so I picked it up. This one I could read. This one is the logo we all know and love with Williams, so I picked it up. This one is an unbranded Bridgeport. It's a Bridgeport body. If you know Bridgeport, you know what they are. And then this one I picked up. Not that they have any real value, but I do grab anything that I see Kmart, because if you know me, that's where my dad got his start as a mechanic. Technically, he got his start as a mechanic at Andy's Arco in South Bend, Indiana. But like his first real job, he was in high school working there, maybe a little bit after. But his first, like to him, real job was working in the service center at Kmart. And I can remember going there as a little kid and getting to pick out a car every week when we picked up his paycheck. So for that, I always grab all the cheap Kmart stuff that I can find. And I don't know, I think I paid $1 for this set. And it came with this little Craftsman ignition wrench that I've got a million of. But the Kmart one's why I bought it. So now, on to the next drawer. All right, guys. We are back with the top of the toolbox. We'll start over here. It's a whole bunch of Allen brand Allen keys. And they're from the Allen Manufacturing Company, so it's kind of cool. We've got a mirror, a clip, a brush. Those always come in handy. Here, these are all just labeled Japan, but it's a 3/8 drive full set from, I think, 7/16, no, from 3/8 up to 11/16. Yep, 11/16. Those are all just labeled Japan, as well as the spark plug socket. Down here, these are all Cal Japan, the same sizes, but they're all Cal brand, so that's kind of cool. Here we have the Crown logo ignition wrenches from Craftsman. Here we have a double line or flying V 1/2-inch drive ratchet. And it is the cool flying V with the flying V switch. We have a flying V quarter drive extension, flying V quarter drive to 3/8 drive adapter, flying V 6.7/16, and a flying V breaker bar. And these are really cool. And look at these things. They look like they have not even been used. And it is a complete flying V set, 13/16 down to 3/8. Still in the metal case and everything else. Here we have a Thorson swivel. This thing is nice and tight, like it's never been used. And to go with it, we have the Thorson speed wrench. Got a little magnifier. I'll clean up, probably use that so my blind self can see some of these things I'm looking at. Here we have, I thought this was going to be those generic Harbor Freights, but it's actually Eklund. And if you look up here, you can see the little Made in USA. And they're Torx. So this is probably going to go in an emergency bag in my Harley. And we've got a Harbor Freight pencil. Then over here we have 1/2-inch drive metric 12 points. And they take us from, 30 millimeters down to, I have to look, 10 millimeters. Only missing a 17 and 18. And then there are, I think, 3 sockets that are, let me look. They're all the same brand. Gray Canada. So the 30 millimeter, another one over there, and then the 16 millimeter. I think like 22, 26. Then the 16 millimeter is gray as well. And the rest of those are all Eastco, Made in USA. So I thought that was cool. I've never seen a full set of Eastco sockets in the wild. Usually it's one socket here or there, and it's a full set of metrics. So that was kind of neat. Again, this is the top of the box, and we will move on to the next drawer. All right, guys. So now we're back with the next set of drawers. So this was the remaining 3 across the top. We had 2 rows of 3 wide. These were the remaining ones. The wrenches were in one drawer. I forget what was in the other ones above them. So a ton of channel lock. The plier drawer with all the channel locks and pliers cost me $8. I mean, look at that. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pairs of channel lock brand. We've got, what do we have here? Utica. No, they're not Utica. They are something Chicago. Get it to focus. Those. There's some Kleins. I think at one point this had the linesman on them, but there's not much left of that. Were these something interesting? These were the Uticas up here. As well as this tiny little adjustable is a Utica. This one was cool. It's an Industro. As a lot of you know, I collect Industro, so that one was cool. And this one was a... I'm not really sure on that one. We've got Ideal. We've got Link Fix. We're fixing bicycle chain link. Thought these guys were pretty cool. So this is a, let's see, what does it say? Wood Specialty. And it's a speed fix wire stripper. So these are much like ones you see today, but these have a nice feel to them compared to a lot of them you find at the bargain stores that don't. So essentially it goes up and it grabs the wire, it pinches the cutter down, and then it spreads and pulls the tip off of the wire. These are probably going to go in my box. I'm going to try them out because they feel much more solid than anything I've ever tried before. We had 2 of these Blackhawk. They usually call them like 90-degree screwdrivers. They're both flatheads. Got a Dunlop punch. Got another one of these little imp cutters from Imperial. This one was kind of interesting. It's a razor knife, and it's a does it all. And the blade goes in the backside. We've got this tubing cutter. Which is a high duty. Got one of these guys. Got some razor blades. Feeler gauge. Craftsman glass cutter. And it does say Craftsman on the cutter itself. So there's another one slid down in the bag. That's pretty cool. I don't know that I've seen a Craftsman glass cutter in the wild before. Oh, these guys. Gonna read that. That is a tiny set of Bonnies. These are Allen. Allen wrenches in there. Some punches, some more screwdrivers that are just no name. We've got a blue line punch. We've got this little guy, which is kind of cool. And it just says West Germany. So definitely thought that was neat. And then as we're looking at the pliers, we have these. I'm not sure what this style is called. I've seen them before. I couldn't find a name, but what I did find was interesting. So let me show it to you guys. Turn it around. I had the wrong handle. It's a W&A diamond. So I need to look it up and see what it is. I know in the context of a wrench, that would be a Williams. And the other thing I found interesting about it is right here. It says USMC. So United States Marine Corps. And this hole is threaded, but there was no type of set screw or anything else in there. As you can see, there's a little dimple on the other side where something obviously was tightened in there. So I need to do some more research and figure out exactly what that's for. This little guy didn't have a name on it. I cleaned it up. It's just got a size. We've got, get this open for you. This one wants to keep rolling up. It's a Chesco Allen wrenches, all-purpose hex keys. And these are Chesco products, Upland, PA. So that's kind of cool, made in USA. Look like a fairly cheap old Allen wrench set. We've got in the box a mini fixed screwdriver set. So what a mini fixed screwdriver is like this style. Now when I was a kid, we'd have the book fairs, and I think everybody's dad got one of these. So that's it. You just pick which head you want to have on it, and then it goes into this side. So like I said, I think everybody's dad got one of those from the book fairs when I was a kid. We got, still in the roll pack, a Dunlop swappable screwdriver. And then we've got another one still in the pack. And this one is a wood handle, and it is a GMCO. From Lincoln, New York. So that was pretty cool. We got another one of those here. This one, part of a brand name, and I cannot remember what that is, but I've seen it before. And it came with the flat blade and a Phillips blade. I have another, this is more of a gimmicky one. Again, one of the things I think kids would get their dads. But still cool that it stood the test of time. You can see it has the blades in it. And then it's a hot swap screwdriver. Get that guy and put him back on before he spills his contents. If he will allow me. We got one of these guys, a ratcheting screwdriver with the little flippable bits. So George from You Want to Watch, I know you pick those up every time you see them. And now I found one. Just in a random lot though. And a whole bunch of cool advertising screwdrivers. A little advertising, it looks like a mini gun holster. We got some depth gauges. We have the tiniest Yankee I think I've ever seen. It's a Yankee number 2H. And it is ratcheting. It looks, but it doesn't pull out. It looks like it's machined. I was wondering if it would actually pull out. So that is the tiniest Yankee I think I have seen. We have a little miscellaneous lot of stuff over here. And then I think this is really cool. It's an Armstrong notch blade. Check out the way that handle is. It does have a blade in it. It takes the ones with the little hook on it, hence the notch blade. I think this is going to polish up beautifully. I'm kind of looking forward to cleaning it. Maybe I'll do a clean video on it. And I like the shape. It really fits your hand nicely. You get a good grip on it. And for the Craftsman guys out there who like some of the newer Craftsman stuff, and if you like the new V series, this just looks like, it reminds me of those handles. Or Facom. Facom and Usog, I think, both use that handle style. And then they brought it on over to the States in the V series. So that was the 3 small drawers and all the stuff that was in them. That is a ton of stuff. That was, like I say, $8, I think, or something for the pliers. I think I paid $4 for most of the rest of the stuff. And then all little mini screwdrivers, I paid, I think it was another $8. But it was a bunch of those, and the Yankee was in there, and the Armstrong was actually in there too. And these little guys were in here, in that drawer, as well as those guys. So, with that, I will get to the next drawer. All right, next up we have the screwdriver drawer. We'll start off down here. These Stanley-esque painted ones, the green, almost SK looking ones, and the yellow one and the red with the white end. These are all no name, no country of origin. The only markings on any of them are the green ones say full hardened. They're made, they're not a bad looking screwdriver. They've got a full shank, goes all up to a striking head, and they have, I don't know, those lines in there, like maybe the striking head screw in or something. Now this yellow one, it's made the same way. I don't see where it says fully hardened. It's a Phillips. The greens are all standard. And we'll jump up here. A couple of ice picks. The bottom one looks to be an advertising. This pokey thingy and the 2 screwdrivers are Stanley. This one is a, oh gosh, what did it? I have to read it again now. Hold easy. So my guess is that at some point, yeah, this slid down and was a screw holder. It's a Hold Easy brand. Those two are both bridge ports. This one is a unique shape. I didn't see any markings on it. I'll have to take it over to the wire wheel and give it a look. These yellow ones, this one literally was named, this one was a funny name. What was it? Off-brand is the name on it. And then these 3 were another generic, they say Life. I think maybe it was Lifetime, Lifelong, something like that, USA. But you can only read Life on it, the rest is rubbed off. These are generic Made in USA's. Those are 2 more generic wood. The one we didn't hit down here, got this nice long wood handle. Handle seems to be in pretty good shape. This is the Mechanics Tool and Foundry of Sabina, Ohio. For those of you that are into tool truck brands, that is the original name of Mac Tools before they became Mac. So that's kind of cool. It's a pre-Mac, which was like 1960s, early 60s. Up here, we have what looks to be pretty much a full set of Irwin wood handle the 300 series. They all needed cleaned up, but they are really nice screwdrivers. This is another Irwin with an acetate handle. And then these work together with the brands that I collect. These are kind of in that wheelhouse. Start off, we've got this 7300, which is an SK. We've got my second one of these. Let's see if you can actually read it there. Not hard to read, but it's another super tough. So two of them out of this lot. I hadn't had one before. This one, as you can read, is a Dunlop. And this one, I think this one's the coolest one of the screwdrivers. It's a Plum. And there's no major gouging or anything. There's one line right there. But I think it's going to clean up really, really nice. A nice wet sand. Wire wheel the shaft out. So that is the screwdriver drawer. We've got one more, it's actually two drawers, but one more lot to pull out and show you guys. I told you, this is a ton of stuff. All right, we're back. So this is the bottom two drawers in the toolbox. There is still one more drawer to go. Up here we have a couple of hacksaws and some blades. This top one is really nice. It's a made in China. It is the heaviest Chinese one I've ever used. This one was almost nice. It's a Diston. And everything looks really good until you pick it up. You look at the top of that handle. I don't know if someone needed it to fit someplace. It looks like it was chewed off of there. Here we have an Empire torpedo level. And we've got some made in Taiwan wire strippers. Here we have an 8-inch crescent adjustable wrench. And then here we have a Williams, I think it's a 12. Yes, 12-inch adjustable. I got this plug, just a pipe plug. A Stanley professional graphite handled hammer. It looks practically new. We've got a set of channel lock tin snips. We have a Stanley saw. We have an unnamed saw. We've got a metric drill chart. And to go along with the drill chart, we have a snap-on metric measurer. So you can check your threads and you can check your hole size and all that stuff and tap your metric threads appropriately. So here we have some Craftsman wood chisels. These are the same ones that I got, I think in my last haul. Only these you can easily read the Crown logo on the side. So they're in much better shape. And then here, this is my first pair of Craftsman locking pliers. That's those two drawers. I think those drawers were $4 a piece. All right, next up is the final drawer. I think I will do this in 3 segments. I need to get some good light out here. Once I get everything moved around, you guys will much appreciate it, and so will I. If you know the brand that people write top on, because it feels like it's not. But if you're new to all this, it's Bonney. I picked up this little quarter drive set. For the 8 points, we got 12 points. We've got 6 points. We're Bonney all the way to right there. The screwdriver bit, I can't find any markings on, but I'll clean it up. And then the last socket is a her brand. You can see in the driver, it's a Bonney. Breaker bar's a Bonney. T-handle, you can't see it, but it's a Bonney. The extensions are all Bonnies. We have this Allen wrench that was in here that I couldn't find a marking on. I'll clean it up. But none of these, they're all square. None of them are Allen set. Yeah, figured I should check the her brand. Extensions are Bonney, and we got a soapstone here for writing. One of the coolest things right here. I've been collecting Craftsman a long time. A 1/2-inch drive is the only drive I ever see these for. They essentially turn your breaker bar into a T-handle if you need to. So let's say this is a pretty complete set. I'll go through and see what it's missing and hunt down what I need. But I was really impressed with this in the last drawer, and I hope you guys are too. So next up, in that same drawer, we have this SK kit. I honestly don't know that I've ever seen one of these before. When we look at the contents, we have quarter drive sockets, a 2-inch extension, and a thumb wheel ratchet. So we look, there's a set of 6 quarter drive sockets, 2-inch extension, and a thumb wheel ratchet. As we look at these things, the inside, the outside, everything looks minty. I don't know that this kit has ever been used. Definitely a cool pickup. I was impressed with it. I hope you are too. We'll move on to the last piece from this drawer. Like I said, last but not least, read that. It's Plum Tools, Los Angeles. Open it up so you can see the inside. I went ahead and took everything out just so you could look at it. Here we have driver with the adapter in the back. This Plum, these two are Plum. 2 T-handles. We have 4 12-point sockets. 10 6-point sockets. I need to get all the 6 points cleaned up because I'm not sure if they're all Plum or not. Most of them are. There's a few that I couldn't read very well. And then a couple oddballs. Another one of those standard screwdriver driver bits. But I'm looking forward to getting this one cleaned up. Someone, for some reason, threw some red paint in it. That's like an OD green box. I'm used to seeing a lot of the Plum stuff in red. So I'm not sure what's going on with that either. Well, yeah, we'll do some in-depth look. So if we look at these, I got these 3 sets. Move it over there a little bit. These 3 sets in that last drawer, and it was $30. I don't think I did bad. I think that there are all 3 really nice sets, all 3 in really good shape. I was not expecting to see any of those pop up on an auction here locally, but they did. That's kind of what drove me into the auction. And then I picked up all the rest of the stuff because it went cheap. So, hope you guys like all the stuff that we've shown you. Hope you really like this lot of Bonney, SK, and Plum for this final lot. So guys, that was a big lot. I can't imagine what the video time is going to end up being on this one. I did manage to put it all together the night I picked it up, so Sunday night. Even though you see me right now in a t-shirt, when I was in my hoodie earlier, I took it off when I went upstairs for dinner, and I forgot to put it back on when I came down. Luckily, we got heat in the garage down here, so it's not too bad. So, what was your favorite lot, or your favorite piece? I am curious to hear that. For me, there's so many good ones. I think the last lot, like I said, that's the one that keyed me into going. That one might be my favorite. But that Bonney set is just beautiful. I think that Plum one's going to clean it up really nicely, and that SK looks like it's never been used. So I think that was a really cool lot. But all the lots were awesome. That wrench lot, that one floored me when I saw it pop up, and when I only got that for $6, I was in shock. I really was. I had put in my mind a number. I said, hey, I'm going to chase this up to this number, but it's probably going to sell for more. I bid one time at $6 and it never moved. So I got it. One thing I did want to go over with you guys. I looked into these a little bit more while I was setting some stuff up. These are cobbler pliers. Still not sure what the hole's for. And they are in fact made by Williams. And the USMC is not the United States Marine Corps. It is, I'm drawing a blank right now, but it's a shoe manufacturing company. So these were ones made for them to use in-house. So this is also pretty cool. This probably would get my favorite if it weren't for those quarter drive sets being in here. And honestly, this one still may be my favorite because this one surprised me. I knew I was getting the quarter drive sets. But this is kind of neat. I don't think I have anything that's just a Diamond W for Williams. Excuse me, had to yawn. So this one is definitely a neat one. But like I say, lots of good stuff. There are lots of good online auctions out there. If you guys are going to do online auctions though, beware. There are some sites where the prices are through the roof. A lot of the sites that run local auctioneers have a buyer's fee at the end, and it will tell you what that is when you read through all the fine print. Go through all the little things and click them, and it will say a 10%, excuse me again, it will say a 10%, 13%, 15%. I've seen them up to 19%. So you got to factor that in when you buy them. This auction was one of the lower ones. It was a 13%. That's what I've been seeing is most at about 15. So 13%, it wasn't too bad. And then sales tax, because they're the type of organization that they have to charge you sales tax. So just be cognizant of those things before you jump in there and say, oh, I'm gonna get this for $10, and find out it's actually gonna cost you about 14 bucks. So that has been our first Tuesday event. And what are we calling this one? Tool Haul Tuesday. So it's our first Tool Haul Tuesday, and I think it's a pretty good one. I've got some other auctions I'm bidding on, so we'll see how those come through next week. I also am meeting up with a couple of people that are trying to sell some stuff. So I may end up with a lot of stuff, I may end up with nothing. We'll see. Let's see what we got going for Friday. The Fix It Up Friday. I may go through and clean one of these new tools I got. I may go through and clean up in here and get myself some bigger space to start doing some of this work in. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but we'll both find out together. Anyway, I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.